Yes, format, you fuck. Boop. Check one.
Gotta have it.
It's not raining tonight. That's a positive.
It rained. Does it rain? Did they have rain?
The rain in Spain.
Rain in Spain brings nothing but pain.
House of Pain.
How are you going to claim that the rain in Spain doesn't bring pain?
It's a shame.
You shall proclaim.
It's profane.
That stain on your
Bogaine.
Rogaine.
You need Rogaine.
Rogaine with the propane.
Mr. King. Okay, there we go. Satan's asshole. Finally. Oh, there he is. You son of a bitch.
Gotta.
Have you prepared yourselves?
Thine loins are prepped.
It's close, but I don't care. Okay. Right?
Huh?
Okay, kids, let's go.
There has been an awakening.
Gugung, gugung, gugung.
Have you felt it?
I have a bad feeling about this.
Hello, what have we here?
You guys are so funny.
Hello.
Holy shit. It ain't C3P's face and R2.
Fuck on my man. The legend.
Looking? Found someone you have, I would say.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy. Rogue Squadron, back at it again. I am Mopar.
I'm Commander. It's been a minute. Is that you're letting loose all of the podcast thoughts you've held back for the past 3 weeks?
Pent up energy. We got it all. We've, life happens. So now we're here.
Yeah, I've been busy. I'm sorry.
But we have a lot to catch up on.
I will disclaimer, I haven't watched the Jedi, Tales of the Jedi yet.
I haven't either.
6 episodes. It came out all at once.
Oh, it's good
It's
to
like
know.
a bingeable. Disney Plus usually doesn't do that. So
Yeah. No,
I need to store away some time for it. But I haven't watched that, but I am caught up on, I think, everything else. Except for Lord of the Rings.
I mean, the only two things I'm worried about is House and Andor.
That's what I mean by everything else.
Yeah, I'm caught up as well. So we
me
are
about
up
the dragons.
to...
Tell me about the dragons.
We
George.
are full season ending for House of the Games.
It wrapped up, man. Season one. Complete.
Yeah. So we'll dive into that, and then of course we are up to date with Andor. I think the last episode was episode 8.
Cassian Ender. Yes.
That show is it's gone in a weird place. I'm not disliking it. The theme of the most recent episode was like, what?
That's interesting you say that. I heard a lot of people say it was their favorite.
Really. We'll just get into it. The most recent episode for Andor was the prison Squid Games.
Yeah.
That's so. I guess my mental issue, the mental breakdown is the nice thing about Star Wars is it's a full galaxy. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh yeah, I agree, and I know what you're gonna say.
And you can make it work. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you can't question it because, it's just on a different world and they have different technology and it's a different place. And it's like, well, sure, but we're telling a story. Mm-hmm. And to have like a fluid theme would be kind of nice, you know? It still has a fluid tone. It's very dire, despair. Yes. No one's trusting. We're on the brink of war. If not, we're already there.
Right.
But yeah, that most recent episode, first of all, I felt like... Listen, guys, this is still the best Star Wars stuff I've ever seen. Personally,
yes.
it's my favorite stuff.
100%.
But it's not without criticism. I think after the big... I think it was episode 6 where they actually stole the credits.
Yeah, we haven't been able to talk since then.
That was one of the most cinematically awesome experiences I've ever had. That episode 6.
It was awesome.
People died. Great. They had that natural spectacle. They had like the ritualistic stuff. They had the Imperials killing people. Things went awry, and I loved the little splash at the end that actor that we loved, Skeen. Tried to double cross him right at the end even after everybody died. He was like, no. And I was like, God, what a nice fucking touch. And it's not like they all just got shot. One guy, the main black dude that got him in, no, not the Imperial guy.
Yeah, the former Stormtrooper.
The former Stormtrooper, thank you. Got killed, and then the other kid got crushed when they were taken off, and then Skeen was killed, obviously, by Cassian. But I thought that episode was so beyond what I ever expected in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. A hostage scene. Hostage scene.
Dude.
Loot. What there's a word for it?
Heist.
What do you call it? Heist, thank you. Smash and grab, I think, is what I was going for.
Yeah.
All those things rolled into one, man.
No,
awesome.
they're sprinkling some very, very dark events into this. Like you said, they held a family. We're not even talking about just holding people hostage. It was a family. There was a kid involved.
Yep.
Very dark.
They're serious about it, too.
I loved it.
They were not playing around.
And plus, even on the good guy side, the kid got crushed. The youngest of the batch of kids.
Yeah, kind of
I call them
Cassian's
kids.
fault.
Yeah. Well, not
I
really.
mean, yeah, it's no one's fault, but he was fine. I thought...
No, they told
that
me to
popped in
step
my
on
head.
it, and he was like, "Fucking, let's do it."
Yeah.
He didn't know the kid was.
Watch for the forklift.
Maybe that was. Maybe that was why I felt a little weird with the last 2 episodes. Coming off one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It was such a shift that he goes back home.
We got to kind of come down a little bit and get ready for the next wave.
Yeah, but I thought it wasn't even slow. He went back to his quote unquote mom and said, "Hey, I got money now. Let's leave." And then literally 25 minutes later, he's in jail again. And I was like, well, I get it. Things need to move along, and we're not going to just sit here and. But I thought it was just like, no, he needs to learn his lesson now. Push, and then now he's in jail. And then they rushed the. And it's clearly like slavery. They're just capturing people to capture them, and then just like, no, you guys go here. You guys go build this shit.
I think there was a time jump built in there that they just didn't reference.
They did.
Because when he leaves...
Well, go ahead.
In episode 7, I don't know if they referenced it, but he leaves Ferrex or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's fucking at a resort, like partying. He's got a girlfriend in his bed and everything. That I feel like should have been in our mind like a couple months apart. I don't know if they say like 6 months later. But I feel like there was some time in there.
Well, I imagine there's at least,
we
a couple
just didn't
months.
get to see it because they didn't want to drag it too long, I guess.
I do get the idea of moving the story along, and he needs to learn that you can't run from this. It's everywhere, which is clearly what we got to. But
Right, exactly.
I felt like it was rushed just in the episode. Like, hey, Mom, we got to go. I'm not going. And then he's like, just all of a sudden in Miami, and he's getting picked up. And you're like, well,
Right.
I get it, but a little rushed. And then the whole prison stuff is... I can't not think about Squid Games.
I've never seen Squid Games.
See, it's like sterile murder is basically what Squid Games is. And
But
it's all
prisoners against each other.
yes,
Kind of thing?
but it's in like it's like a big video game.
Yeah.
So when they even mentioned it's like a game, you're playing those guys, you can play, and it's like, I get it.
I'm glad I never watched Squid Game.
It does. I think it would help if I had never seen it. But also, Squid Games was one of the coolest, funnest experiences of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won. I was in it.
You won.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Anybody dress up for Squid Games this Halloween?
Yes, actually,
As Squid Games for Halloween.
they did. They had when I was walking around yesterday. There was a lot of little kids. I was like, that person murders people.
Right, you
know?
shouldn't have watched that show, I probably think, little kid. I saw some little kid is dressed up in Stranger Things outfit, and I was like,
There was a
you're too young for that, dude.
there was a hand-built Enderman holding a pumpkin but it was like 10 foot
Nice.
in
Massive.
our town.
Love it. Sorry, Halloween diversion.
No, you're good.
Yesterday was Halloween, though. Happy Halloween, everyone. Bye. Yeah, I agree with you. It was fast, but I gotta say, I don't think we need too much time of Cassian like finishing his job, getting paid, and then like trying to vacation before he gets picked up by the. We got to get to it.
What's the other option? He's like suntanning on a beach. Like what? There's no other option. So
There were probably deleted scenes about him doing that kind of shit. Just like let's ramp up the vacation vibes here.
Yeah, and I did like the Imperial droids are a part of it. It just felt weird. I don't know how to like put my how to explain it. Like, there's just stormtroopers or shore troopers on the beach, and they're just randomly picking people up, and no one's saying anything. It's just like, no, you 18 people, come with me, or you're gonna get. And it's like, wait, what? What is happening?
Well, they got it locked down, dude. ISB was like, hey, shit's getting real, man.
I don't know.
Start arresting everyone. I think it's maybe supposed to feel like it's escalated a little too quick.
Well, it did.
I think that's what the Empire is.
I mean, not only in the story, but in the episode, it was just like, nope, he's back, or he's in jail now.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, slow down.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis, is he the first person to be two people in Star Wars?
No.
Who else is who?
Warwick Davis.
Ah,
been
good
like
call.
7 people.
Good call. Yeah. I couldn't. To be honest, I couldn't. I think it's his voice, but I was like, oh, that's Snoke. I couldn't get even with the mocap and everything. He's a very unique human being. I love him. He's a great actor, but I couldn't. Awesome. I couldn't pull him out of the Snoke. I do like his character. I do like that kind of manager of the slaves.
Yeah.
Also,
I was surprised to see him though.
Dark undertones. Speaking of holding a family hostage, suicide in the bunk area. The dude jumps on the floor, and they're all like, "Oh man, now we're gonna have to smell his burning body." Like I was like, "Jesus Christ, guys!
Who's gotta mop that up, man?"
Jesus, I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah,
I was like, "Whoa." Yeah, how cool are those little pods though? It's a nice getaway.
I mean, if that was like a tour bus,
yeah,
that would be one thing. But to full-time living, eating through a tube.
Hey, you got everything you need, right?
That's gnarly, dude. What I thought you were going to complain about early on that I was going to jump on with you.
No, are you going to complain?
I am going to complain, everyone. Get ready.
Now,
hit the complain alarm.
See, now I can criticize you. Now I can criticize you. No, you're just overthinking it. It's great.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I'm just going to argue with you for the sake of argument.
Do it.
I want more aliens. That's my only critique of the show so far, really, is that there's a lot of aliens in the background, but there's not as much aliens, front and center.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool if he was in the prison with like Duros and Twi'leks and those pirate-looking guys. I can't remember their names. Like all the crew from Mandalorian that was holding Baby Yoda hostage. Those characters I can't remember, but
I agree. I think on the simplest form, I think it's coming.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have to get in front of the crustaceans or whatever the other people because they're out of luck. Who are the
Gorms, the Gormans or whatever that Mon Mothma keeps talking about?
Yeah.
What do they even look like?
We saw 2 tubes.
Yeah, we did get a little Saw Gerrera action. That was nice.
I'm just gonna go right into it.
Shouting on the plane when that happened.
That's one of the best interactions I have ever seen, even outside of Star Wars. When Luthen sits down and has a meeting with Saw Gerrera. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I don't know why. I believe both characters so much.
Yeah.
The actor that plays Swiss Guard, whatever his name, and
the Swiss Guard
and Forrest. First of all, I even wrote on my phone. Forrest Whitaker, I think, is the best actor in all of Star Wars. I watched that scene.
Adam Driver.
He's up there.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely up there.
He's probably top 3 easily.
I would put Skarsgård up there too, man. Yeah. He's like one of my favorite characters.
I don't know what it is. Every time I see Saw Gerrera, I'm just fucking engaged.
I know.
And I know I'm going to get some type of crazy performance. Even just them kind of like, I don't even know. It wasn't even a discussion. Like they were trying to help each other out, but like don't agree on things. So they basically told each other to fuck off. And I was like, I'm for it.
It's like when you have like two competing mafia heads, like
Yeah.
sitting down for a nice dinner with some wine or
Yeah.
something, but they're like slinging insults at each other. Yeah.
They're like, hey, remember when we murdered those people? Hey, we're not. Oh, hey, fuck you.
Wasn't as good as when we murdered those people.
Yeah, it's something
That was
about
nice. A little sinister background there.
Saw Gerrera, man. It's Forrest Whitaker. It's so believable. That is Saw Gerrera. I see no other version, no other way to even fix that guy.
Yeah.
That is him.
I love it.
And I love how they use him and how they place him and who he talks to and how he reacts. Like, he is the perfect character. I'm
with you on that. So what do you think of there's a darker tone of Luthen kind of knew that this job was going to like have the Empire like clench down a little harder.
Yeah.
And he kind of, wanted that going into it, which is pretty sinister.
I completely disagree.
I mean, that's what he needs to do. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We all agree on that. But I'm just saying, rebellion usually thinking good guys. Like, that's pretty dark. And even my mouth was like, what the fuck, man?
Oh, I 100% agree with everything he's done. He's like, what? We're going to sit around and just keep getting killed?
Well, I think maybe even Saw Gerrera is more extreme than him.
Right. Saw Gerrera's actively just murdering. He's just like,
Yeah.
You wearing white? You look like a stormtrooper. You're all dying. Like, you ain't having it.
No, but it was, I'm always digging how they make the rebellion look like bad guys.
Yeah.
And I was almost, and I'm sure you were too, rooting for that Imperial officer, Miro, whatever her name was.
Oh, yeah. No,
like you're almost rooting for her for a while, you know what I mean? Until
Yeah.
like, oh wait, yeah, she's gonna torture people. My bad.
Yeah, she gets knocked down a couple times, and then she just like sticks it to the other dude, and
Yeah.
then I was like,
Got
she
some
just went
legal
out
files,
of her,
dude.
went out of her way just to say fuck everybody, and the dude's like, yep,
Fuck everybody. Yep.
I like it.
One thing that I didn't recognize, a little Easter egg, fan service, if you will.
What?
The admiral from the Clone Wars is that ISB officer, the dude with the white mustache that comes in and like gives them all a talking to.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that until I watched like a Easter egg video.
Oh yeah, I didn't know either.
Totally different voice too. I think that's why I didn't notice.
Did you see that little flashback with the clones?
Yes.
Ooh.
Sure did. Getting hanged.
Yeah.
That's dark, dude. That's his dad, right? Well, stepdad. Foster dad.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
Gnarly,
man.
Yeah, there's some great stuff. It's just you feel the stress among the regular population, which isn't anything we've seen. Outside of like the very beginning of episode 7, where they fly in and then just that village is just
Gets
slaughtered.
destroyed.
We really don't see civilians murdered like that. I mean, of course, Alderaan, but we don't
see anything.
Exactly, and that's actually my point from the book, from Rogue One book, when they shot that Jeddah City. I actually get 3 points of view from the people on the ground, and it's like, oh man,
The ones that are actually suffering.
it's weird because there is a disconnect. Like they show it on screen, and you're like, yeah, I know people die, but you don't like
It's
see
so
it.
far
so
away,
it's,
you can't really tell. Even in Force Awakens, where they try to zoom in on some of the people before their planet explodes, I'm just like, the planet was so far away, and this was so like detached from the characters that I don't even care.
I think that's the biggest issue with Episode 7, with the Hosnian system.
Right.
They blew it up, and you're like, well, we saw 1.5 seconds of people that, like, who, I don't give a shit. I would have blown it up too. They're like,
Destroyed.
oh, look, fireworks, boom.
4th of July. And then they're just fucking toast.
Yeah, I don't know. I did write some quotes down here that blew my Jabibus off. I no longer have a Jabibus.
Damn, dude. Can you get a replacement, James?
I'll get his sewn back on. Luthen and Mothma were basically at odds because Luthen pulled the trigger with the heist, and she's like, what the fuck? And he had a good quote, has anybody made a weapon that wasn't used? And I was like, oh, I love it. I love it. He's just dropping knowledge. There's a lot of quotes in here that it's like,
Yep.
makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. I like that one. And then Mothma says,
Saw Gerrera's a weapon.
Yeah.
From a certain point of view.
Mothma says, people will suffer, and Luthen goes, that's the plan.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, I like this guy.
That's why. Yep. That's why he's going sinister, man.
Getting shit done.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. I've said this a million times. I probably said it even back when we reviewed Rogue One originally, but you think sometimes that the rebellion just existed before we get to episode 4, and it's just they've always been there and they're fighting the Empire, and we wonder like why is it taking 19 years for them to do something about it. And
People are terrified.
I just love that this is taking so long for them even to get their shit together.
Well, yeah,
And Saw splinters off, and you have the path, and
Yeah.
you have Mon Mothma, and it's just like.
but it still feels like we're so far from that point. It feels
We
like
are.
we're so far from Rogue One. Like that's when shit's already together.
Yeah, I wonder.
Like there's a council, and we have the
the whole base on Yavin.
well, yeah, the
everything.
base. But I'm thinking of what the hell's
They got different squadrons. Bail
who the
Antilles.
fucking Mon Calamari.
Yeah, dude.
Like all those ships and everything. Like it's an army at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's literally just like mad people upset.
sneaking.
And I do really still love the idea that it's all about money at this point. They need money to
fund their shit, yeah.
to fund everything. And not only was there a heist involved, but Mon Mothma's trying to sneak
Yeah,
her
she's got her
family money,
banker. Yeah, she got her
which
banker
is
going.
badass. Also, how did you feel about them dropping the name
Which one?
Palpatine?
Yeah, I loved it.
Palpatine, and they referenced the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was the quote? Oh, Mon Mothma's trying to push against. What? God damn it! What was it? Trying to pit the Emperor against the Empire or something like that, and they laughed about it. It was one of the senator meetings or parties.
Highfalutin senators,
I'm also.
rich motherfuckers.
It was a little weird to me on that last episode because it kept going back and forth between Squid Games and senator parties in Mon Mothma, and it was like, I get it. These two things are probably happening at the same time, but they're so different that I was like,
That's the point.
yeah, I get it. How did you feel about the technology with the electrocution floor?
I thought that was cool.
I think it's clever.
It is. Yeah.
Clever way to just keep people in line and
Wait for them to not have stormtroopers everywhere.
just slip your pants over your feet and run away.
Damn, dude, Mopar used to be a professional prisoner.
Also, what the fuck are they trying to sell ski boots? You see those people walk up
Yes,
and they got
dude.
the fucking Nike ski boots.
That was like Back to the Future shit. Yeah,
I guarantee
I noticed that.
you that's they're gonna be selling those.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
they're
really-
at Galaxy's Edge right now. I bet.
Yeah.
No, the prison thing was interesting. It wasn't what I expected. You know, as they were flying into the thing, it was looking like that prisoner in Avengers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
on the water.
Badass. I love it.
Yeah, it was cool, but I just didn't expect that to happen, and I didn't expect. We have like a little 3-episode arc happening that we just started.
Yeah.
So 9 and 10 are going to be, Cassian going through the prison again and then escaping, or Val's going to come break him out or something like that.
I don't get what. So what are Val? She wants to kill him. Is that? That's from Luthen. Luthen.
I think Luthen.
I
I don't know if he specified like kill him or not, but he's got way too much information, and now he's like a.
I don't understand any of that. Why would Luthen say, Cassian Andor, we need you? Oh, you know who I am. We gotta kill Cassian Andor. And you're like,
I think he's just
What?
chalking up a bunch of shit just to get him to sign on.
but why not use a middleman?
What do I mean?
Luthen didn't have to go there single-handedly. I mean, it definitely helped. He talked him into it.
Yeah, actually, that is a little bit of a plot hole now that I'm thinking about it.
Like he literally,
Because he came personally because he knew about Cassian and he wanted to recruit him.
yeah.
And then he's like, all right, never mind.
He's like, oh, he knows my real name. That I told him. What the fuck you talking about, Luthen?
I'm surprised.
I was really confused at like, oh, we need to tie up our loose ends, and it's like, well, you are the loose end. You're the one that's fucking telling him. I don't get. Yeah, I was confused at why.
Maybe Val's gonna bring him back.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, he's obviously not dying.
Well,
maybe,
yeah.
Or maybe Val gets killed. Because Andor's smart.
He is smart.
He plays dumb, man. You
I
see
love him when he plays dumb.
He-
That's exactly what a smart person would do.
it. Yeah, yeah,
The opposite of Han Solo, like we said a couple episodes ago.
yeah. He's clever. He knows when to pick his spots, when to speak up, when to hide. I like it.
What do you think they're building?
Honestly, those Pentagon looking things.
Yeah.
My first thought, which doesn't even make any sense, I and the mechanic in me was like, that kind of looks like a makeshift U-joint, or maybe it's like a joint to one of the AT-ATs. like one of the leg joints or something, and they're like, just mass produce those. We're gonna go through them. We got to build all these mechanical assholes.
It's so many of those, and they're so small.
They got. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're big, but like if that's for an AT-AT, that's tiny as hell.
Well, they're good joints.
Well, they got 7 rooms, 7 teams in 7 rooms on 7 levels.
In that one.
And there's 7 of those.
Oh, are there? They did say there's 7 facilities.
I think so. Well, 7 of those floating fucks, I think.
So they're just mass producing.
So 7 people at 7 tables in 7 rooms on 7 floors. That's 2,400 prisoners in one thing, times 7. So they got 16,000 prisoners on the ocean just fucking churning out.
And that's the other thing. Where are you gonna? I'm gonna escape, and where are you gonna go? Get eaten by a fucking fish?
Yeah.
Fishy?
Camino.
Fishy.
What if they are on Camino?
Fish.
Yeah, I was not expecting the prison stuff, but curious to see what they're building.
It took me out of the whole series. I mean, that's just the slightest bit. And it's all about theme, because everything's been so dark and
is it all because it reminds you of Squid Game, probably?
That's definitely a large part of it, but even so, like, yeah, sure. Imperial compounds are going to be clean, sterile, white, bright.
Yeah.
But that was like, I don't know. It was like way over the top.
It definitely clashed. Maybe this is why you don't like it. It clashed with all of the retro stuff. Like all of the gadgets in like Cyril Karn's house and on Ferrix is all like 1970s.
Yeah.
The Polaroid camera and like random pieces parts. Whereas this looks like Mass Effect.
Yeah, I'm still getting huge Mass Effect vibes. Also, random side note, the score has been very wonky in an interesting way.
I liked everything except for that fucking drum
drums.
solo.
Yeah, the most recent 2 episodes are what I binged today, and I'm getting weird like fantasy sci-fi 80s, like weird buzzes. I can't even explain. Like it's weird.
Lots of synth in there.
Yeah.
So like it's almost like Mandalorian, but not. It's like 80s industrial instead of like tribal.
It's like Mandalorian plus Stranger Things, and just like make it, and you're like, wow, this is like
happening on Wall Street.
Folky synth, like
Folky synth, folky Star Wars synth, baby. I think it's the same composer that does the Succession music.
Oh, nice.
Which is awesome.
God, I haven't heard that song in a minute.
Oh, can't wait. The trailer for season 4
just came out.
Yeah, last week.
I haven't seen it yet.
Wait, didn't you see it before the House of the Dragon finale? They played it before.
No.
Did you skip it by mistake?
I might have skipped it accidentally. Yeah.
Anyways, Succession.
I got some other stuff here. Let's blow through Andor here. Mon Mothma also had a badass quote.
She has been crushing it.
Yeah, I love the actress, and she is it, but she's not quite to that Forrest Whitaker tier, but she's close. I really enjoy everything that she's done, and I do like the stress that's wrapped around Mothma. Like, she feels truly under the gun. I know Luthen has pushed the dominoes over, and everything's going into effect because of him, and he's kind of enjoying it.
Yeah, he seems like he handles it better.
She is just crumbling. Well, she can't trust her own fucking family.
I know.
She went to that other, not even a
Homeboy's
senator.
inviting Sith Lords to tea party.
Yeah.
For real.
But all that to say, she said, I've learned from Palpatine. I'll show you the stone in my hand, and you missed the knife at your throat. And I was like, oh!
Yeah, that's 100% what I've been wanting for a while.
Yeah.
Is that whole kind of vibe.
I love it. I love that she knows, not that she knows he's a Sith, but like,
Something's wrong.
he kind of is the enemy, and she knows he's turning this into the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. But there's still a lot to learn that you can learn from your enemy. Something like that. I like that little twist that she's like, well, Palpatine is being a bitch, but, you know.
He's a smart bitch.
He's a smart bitch.
I'm going to copy his tactics. Yeah, and then those senators were talking about all the new security measures, which is very Orwellian 1984 creepiness.
Yeah.
They're like, there's not a problem if you don't do anything wrong. It's like, what's your definition of wrong?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There was sprinkles of a Jyn Erso in there. Like, you can stand, you can sit there and with the flag and you don't not look up. And you're like, okay.
That was a quote, verbatim quote.
I've been there. The other thing about Mon Mothma was I had strong Bond, Agent M.
Yeah.
from Mon Mothma. Like, she started dropping knowledge and then pushing buttons, and kind of you could see her digging for info and seeing who she can trust. And I was like, man.
They have a layer of characters now, which I'm going to continue to relate it to Game of Thrones because that's how it feels to me. But the same reason I was raving about House of the Dragon, or just Thrones in general, you have like the kings and the royalty. You have soldiers that are badass. You have sneaky fucks like Littlefinger and Larry Strong.
Yeah.
You have like the maesters. You have rich people. There's different layers, and everyone can get power and like leverage shit in different ways.
Yeah.
It's not just Jedis with
Yeah.
lightsabers the whole time.
Yeah.
Or just soldiers like Mandalorian, which is all cool. But the fact that we have like the political scheme with Mothma, we have Luthen being like wealthy and, you know, sneaking around. You have Cassian and everything.
Yeah.
All the rebels, Saw Gerrera's team. It's just like there's more layers there.
It's also
not as two-dimensional like good and bad as it used to be.
It's also simplified in a sense. Like, they're not focused on it being science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's science fantasy from blah blah.
But
They've taken a lot of the blasters and just pew pew aspects and space battles out, and they've taken all the laser swords out, and you're just left with people
yeah.
doing things. And I know we've gotten a laser fight in that great episode 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
It didn't feel like, hey, we're gonna put lasers in here because of Star Wars. It's like, no, this is a heist.
Right.
Everybody brings guns to a heist. It has to happen. So it's like,
Right.
yes.
Right.
I love it. I love that they're not pushing stuff in front of us, quote unquote, because it's Star Wars. I'll continue that throughout. But I said the Squid Games felt weird. Oh, funny side note. I even wrote Bix was actually running for her life. How funny is that? People are scared in Star Wars finally. It's not happy dancing. They know they're running away because they might get shot.
Right. Instead of throwing
unlike-
rocks at a stormtrooper.
Unlike every time Han, Luke, or Leia runs, they're just waving their arms around like, woo!
They just hide behind a fucking like lamppost and
Yeah.
don't get shot.
But it's funny that I had to write that down because I was like, this chick. They said, "Where's Bix Maydeen? You're her," and she's like, "Oh shit, run! I'm gonna die." Awesome.
Yeah, dude. And then
Yeah.
Luthen being again savage. They cut her off. They cut off the transmission line to Ferrix.
I was
Fennec.
kinda-
What the fuck's the name of the planet?
Yeah, Fennec Shand.
Fennec Shand is no more.
Did they trace it because of the transmission she was trying to send Luthen? Like, how did they find her so quickly?
They had it set up. That's how she got in touch with them in the first place.
I know, but how did the Imperials track her down so quickly? They went back and was just like, "You're Bix, let's go!" And you're like, "Wait, how did you know who, what, when, where she was?"
Interesting. There's a little scene when she tries to go into that comm tower, and the
Yeah.
guy like doesn't want to let her in, obviously, because like he's under surveillance.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe she
Yeah.
sent that out, and it's a good thing Luthen didn't respond because maybe it was under surveillance. So
yeah, his girlfriend / secretary is
the,
smart.
the other thing was the prim and proper ex-security guard
Yeah.
went through the files and then like confirmed all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have even interviewed Bix before he got fired or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe that was
Cyril
in the
Karn,
file.
you're talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's making some moves. Or trying to. I can't remember. He got shut down at the end, right? She said, fuck off, go away.
Yeah, because he wants to be a part of it, and she's like, no.
No, this is the Empire, dude. You can't just like
You must suffer first.
put an application in like fucking Baskin Robbins.
Also, how badass was like the futuristic space cubicles?
Yeah. Office life wouldn't be so bad if it looked like that.
Just like mundane.
Just like we said, prison life wouldn't be that bad if you got those little pods.
Yeah.
Eat fucking liquid steak out of a straw.
Liquid steak.
A tube in the wall. Get some fucking protein powder.
Oh, man.
No, it's just it's cool. It fits the vibe, and that works with Coruscant, I think, because it's like New York City basically of Star Wars. So they got all the high tech advanced shit. Whereas in his apartment, he's watching the HoloNet on like a fucking 3x4 TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the smallest TV I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Can't see anything on that shit. Eating cereal. His mom's going psycho.
I like it. I like the tone. The tone is probably my number one thing. I like how dire despair, backs are up against the wall. I love that Luthen's finally pushed the domino with the heist, and things going crazy. And he's like, "That's what needs to happen. Mothma, get your shit together. I don't care if you want to or have to. You gotta now. Get things going."
Luthen's one of those most interesting characters because I think we all know he's probably not coming out of the show alive.
No.
You know what I mean? By the time we get to, it's possible by the time we get to Rogue One and we have that whole council and everyone's unified except for Saw Gerrera, he was the last one. Most or all of that is because Luthen's like the one making moves, trying to find these different splintered groups and bring everyone together.
Yeah.
He's going to build, everyone's going to come together, and then he's going to get killed off, and then we're going to go into Rogue One at the end of like season 2 or something.
Well, that's what's going to solidify everybody.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
They're all going to start believing in Luthen,
Yep.
and then he'll die, and then they're all just going to be standing looking around at each other and like, oh,
Yep.
well, we all believed in him, so we might as well.
Like in V for Vendetta when they shoot that child by accident.
I don't remember.
We're coming up on November 5th, so I'm excited to watch it. So it's been in my mind.
We gain an hour this weekend.
Oh, we do? Fuck, dude. On November 5th? That's a hell
Is
of
it?
a... I think so, yeah.
I think it's
Saturday's November 5th.
4th or 5th, yeah. So it'd be Saturday night into Sunday, I
So
think.
V for Vendetta Day, we get an extra hour. Man, it's going to be a great weekend.
Download it. I don't know what that means.
No, I'm going to stream it, dude. I'm going to stream it.
Any, before we jump into season finale of The Houses.
Well, I know the episode 8 and then 7 are like most recent in our mind with Andor, but we talked about 6 a little bit, but it's just so fucking brutal that after all of that, the kid died anyways. And Skeen tries to pull one over, and then Cassian's listening to his bullshit and just quick draws him.
I love it.
I was like, oh my God, dude.
It
was perfect. Shocking. Perfect.
It's really cool because while Cassian himself you may not be able to trust from a certain point of view, he doesn't surround himself with anyone that he doesn't trust. And I felt like when Skeen immediately does that, it was like, you're out of the fucking, you're done. This is all about trust. That's the only web we have.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be on the same page. And as soon as something like that happens, not only are you stealing from us now,
right?
I can no longer do anything else with you. Like you're done. And that's you
can't sleep with an eye open. You know what I mean?
But yeah, once the rebellion really gets going, then you start looking at like Han and
what about
Lando. I don't know if you can trust those guys either.
Well, the comparisons just keep coming. I mean, Han and Cassian have a lot of overlap. Han was kind of doing the same thing. He's like, yeah, I'm not really into all this. I just need the money.
Yeah, he's doing oddball jobs. Yeah, you're right.
But he was more like suave smuggler versus Cassian's like a grungy thief.
Grungy spy thief.
Spy thief, yeah. Thief spy. He's stealing thieves.
More technologically, well, I guess more just observant, which sounds dumb, but like he observes how people interact. I feel like Han just kind of observes like where he can pull the wool over people's eyes, like
Contra Club.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, it's cool to have a main character that's like
flawed, majorly flawed.
He's flawed and he's a thief and he's almost a bit selfish.
He's a killer.
He's a killer. But he always does the right thing? Question mark.
But that's kind of
like he has the right morals.
That's
even
where we've
though
gotten.
He's like fucking around.
That's what Luthen tried to smack into Mon Mothma's head.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta
yes,
get
people
dirty.
will suffer.
Yeah.
Because that's what needs to happen.
Gotta get your hands dirty, dude.
Either we suffer or they suffer. It's called war. That's what we're getting into.
They both suffer at the same time.
Mothma's over there like, wait.
Hang on,
And everybody's
I got
like-
a fucking wire transfer.
No. Well, hold on.
I love her childhood friend who runs the bank. He's a great actor.
I do enjoy
That
him
whole
too.
scene where they're walking around the party and like, make sure to smile. They're talking
Yeah.
about the fucking rebellion.
Yeah. No,
Perfect.
I love it.
Perfect
And I love that she lets him in, but only enough. I need to raise money because we're battling the Empire. Well, what's this money going towards? Fuck off.
I'll tell you next week.
Yeah, don't ever ask me that again.
Well, she was worried at first, but it sounded like he was further on her side than she realized
Playing
by the
along,
time
yeah.
they got to it. He just didn't. Obviously, you don't want to. It's like you both know the same thing, but you can't admit it because then you'll get in
Right.
trouble. So you have to like figure out if the person like agrees with you or not.
Yeah, because if not, everything's blown wide open. So
Yeah, you're definitely off the Senate. That's for sure.
Chandrilla.
Senate chambers, very cool. Empty as fuck.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about the Senate anymore. It gets disbanded in just like a couple years after this.
Yeah.
I saw something about it might only be 2 seasons.
Andor?
Yeah, which bummed me out.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be only 3, right?
I can't remember what we talked about.
I feel like at one point it might have been 5, and then they backed it down to 3, and now I'm not. But this is it's not even close. I'm not even gonna dance around it. It's not even fucking close. I enjoyed the hell out of Mando. Boba Fett was okay. Obi-Wan was okay to great.
Yeah.
It does none of that holds a
It
candle.
doesn't compare.
It doesn't. This is so much. It's so well written. The characters are better. The acting's better. The budget's better. Everything's just like, this is it. This feels like Succession, Star Wars. This feels like Saving Private Ryan, Star Wars. This feels like...
Well, off of all those things that you just said, well, I guess Saving Private Ryan is not HBO. Oh, I was thinking of Band of Brothers. I was going to say that's HBO production value.
Yeah.
Chernobyl, Succession, Game of Thrones.
You never have to question
Band of
it.
Brothers.
As soon as you jump into an HBO show, you know it's
a fucking film.
Yeah.
Just stretched over like 10 episodes instead of...
And it's weird. I hate that I have to like question it because it's Star Wars. That's where we've gotten like, oh, Ahsoka's coming out. Well, I'm going to see it. I'm going to enjoy it. But because it's Star Wars, it's probably not going to be top-notch, a top-notch show.
Well, it'll be curious to see how this show influences the other creators. Definitely.
I want this guy to do another show already. Like, pick another random character and run with it. I don't care. Saw Gerrera. Do a whole Saw Gerrera thing.
Yeah. It does get me a little worried that our best stories in Star Wars are in the Rebel and Empire time. Because I feel like everything that comes back, it always comes back to that, which it's where it started. So, like, it's not a bad thing. But I wonder if, like, they wanted to set something during the Clone Wars that was live action, if they would pull off the same kind of vibe. And they might be able to, but I would be hard-pressed to say.
Absolutely. I think they would absolutely... I think that could be potentially the greatest Star Wars thing of all time, is if they put a series together about the clones and the Jedi and, like, really wrapped it around Order 66, or at least building towards it.
They've done so... They won't, because all of the Clone Wars...
But they could.
And Bad Batch, and it's there's
they could.
So many clone stuff, which is fine with me, I dig it.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's been nothing but great.
So we'll see how I feel after Tales of the Jedi. My hope is that I can have this type of Star Wars in Andor and have Tales of the Jedi stuff live side by side and not be burnt out on either one. I think the churn of, like, only having Bad Batch and Boba and Mando and then Kenobi kind of had me burnt out. This is a swing in the other direction, which I think will balance out, and then I won't feel like those shows are, like, as kitschy as they actually are.
Let me answer the question you're not asking.
I didn't mean to ask.
Why is that? Why did you feel burnt out with the other 3? Because the other 3 were along the same line of production, story writing, all this stuff. Yes. And then we finally get to Andor, which is also all of a sudden a serious series, dramatic. So my point is, I can watch a Succession with an Obi-Wan. I can watch House of the Dragon with a Mando. So that's why, even though they're both Star Wars, I can watch an Andor with an Ahsoka.
Yeah, and I think
because they play on different themes. They're different.
Exactly, and I think if anything, Mando's going to feel hopefully better after this in a different way.
I think Mando's much closer to like Andor than the rest of them.
I just meant that was just one of the random ones I pulled from. Yeah, I just mean I think I won't be as critical about those other shows.
Sure. Well, you don't have to be, because you can fall back onto Andor now.
Yes.
I already want to rewatch all of it, especially episode 7 or 6. I will watch that just cinematically. Oh my god.
I rewatched that one, but that's the only one so far.
Yeah, admittedly, I know it's a slower start, so the first like 2 or 3 might be a little slow, but
they've also ended up all being pretty long.
Yeah?
We were complaining about Mando would be like 20 here and then 35 here or whatever, but these have all been like 45 minutes.
Because
or longer.
You're
of them was an
building
hour.
characters. You're
I know,
not
it takes time,
shooting.
dude.
You're not just showing a cool gun. Oh, this one's about a crate dragon. And you're like, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
But what about the crate dragon? No, crate dragon. And you're like, okay.
It's there. In
Pod racer.
In the second episode, it's already there. Yeah, if this was like if this had the same pacing as Mando, Mon Mothma would like already be forming the council.
Oh yeah, we
You
would have
know
been
what I
there.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The heist would have been like episode 2.
Yeah, the whole I don't. When I say it's drawn out or a slow burn, I really don't mean that in a negative way.
No, it's drawn out in the best way.
Yeah, it's more screen time for the characters that are put in front of us, and we're gonna see as long as they're struggling and overcoming or dealing with shit. That's the whole point. You get to learn who these people are through all that interaction and all the battles and shit. So, which is weird because at the same time, outside of Obi-Wan and Anakin, I don't know if I know. Let's just throw someone out there. Dooku. Do I really know who Dooku is? Nah,
You read the book.
not really. But still, isn't it weird that I feel like I know more about Cassian Andor as a person than... I mean, you could pick
Yeah.
any Jedi outside of Anakin and Obi-Wan and Luke, I guess.
And
But-
Ahsoka. But yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you mean.
There's a lot of people that have a lot of screen time that I'm still like, yeah, like Mace Windu. Yeah, I have a general idea who Mace Windu is, but at the same time, I
He
have
just
no
has a cool essence
I have no fucking idea who he is.
and a purple lightsaber.
Like, if he was put into a situation, how would he react? I'm not
He
sure.
would kill everything.
I assume, but at the same time, he's a Jedi,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
probably the strongest Jedi at the time. And you're like,
Yeah, we don't have the layers, you know. It'd be really good to have this approach applied to like prequel era stuff.
what the Andor approach, the
Yeah.
long, slow burn.
Because we never really had that, but the same kind of stuff does happen. I mean, you could take a gap between episode 1 and 2, recast Anakin as as like a 13-year-old or something.
Yeah.
Find somebody that kind of fits that balance. Get Obi-Wan back. Make him up to be younger
Pubes
again.
with the face.
Pubes with the face. Yeah. But you could make that work, and it could be like Palpatine getting his claws into Anakin slowly over time, you know? Something with that pacing, I think.
You're onto something.
Yeah.
Nix the whole Anakin and all that. Create a new character,
Yeah.
and maybe they cross paths with Anakin or something to make it fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think prequel era stuff could work well as well. You're right that everything comes back to OT, Rebels, Imperials. But what does it say that we are back in that? And that's the least thing we wanted. And this is one of the greatest shows we've ever seen. And it's like,
I know, but if you think what got us into Star Wars in the first place, OT, and then Rogue One's your favorite movie, OT,
yeah,
Andor's our favorite show,
OT.
OT. We all circle all around back. We go explore in this like weird territory, a bunch of Jedi and Sith action, and then it all comes back to Rebel Empire.
But the odd thing is,
I just think it's just a classic scenario, you know,
but it's
oppressive
we're-
empire and underdogs.
We're watching the galaxy change and unfold before our eyes. I feel like beforehand it was about characters and not about. I don't know. I kind of lost myself. I was like,
Definitely about characters now.
is it though?
Definitely.
Because I feel like any one of these people, and we
We
know
just spent so much time talking about
You're right. But
how
it's
deep
it's
the characters are.
I'm not. It's hard to explain. It's about the mass of people
Yeah.
and how people are changing.
The culture.
Rather than this individual Jedi got mad, so he tried to kill his own wife, and he went to the dark side. I feel like it's finally the effects of everything else.
Yeah.
And the trickle down effect of, okay, things are changing. We know it happens way up here, but the way war is won are the people on the ground.
Well, like you said earlier, we get more of the citizen point of view.
Well, and you could literally strip. I know. So this is my start testing
Who's
our
stripping,
knowledge. Well, have you seen the one?
Shakti?
Shakti with the stuff. Just like what is more important in the Star Wars universe? Because we've gotten such a focus on Rebels, Imperials, Jedi. But it is really the people on the ground that are making the difference. Even in the Imperials. Like, it is the regional governors and all these I mean, those are the people that are enforcing it all.
Yeah.
So, like, Palpatine could die tomorrow, and as long as everything keeps going in this direction, I don't see how.
Which it did for a while.
Right.
5 years, 6 years, whatever.
Right. And that's my point. We're finally seeing how it affects people on a daily basis. We saw that guy who Buddies of Andor, the miner guy.
Yep.
How it's already affected him. He went from like everything's gonna be okay to now like Cassian's gone. He's like, well, I don't know, and now he's like, fuck.
Yep.
And it's
We're all
like,
fucked.
but isn't that such a nice little sprinkle of, hey, you know, everybody kind of went with it until it happens to you.
Yep.
And that's how all the entire galaxy slowly becoming.
That happens all over the place.
Yeah.
I've been watching horror movies because it's been spooky season, but that's how it always goes in a ghost movie.
Yeah.
It's like, I saw a ghost. Oh, you're crazy. Ghosts aren't real.
Until
And
it
then
happens.
It starts killing people, and then finally, like, the fucking mayor or something dies. And then they're like, oh, shit, it's a ghost.
I should have listened.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling you this whole time.
I didn't believe you until the ghost killed me, and now I believe you that ghosts are real.
On the other hand, if you go around and just believe in a ghost, then you're probably wasting your time.
The ghost have me. I got halved.
I watched Ghostbusters, and that's all I could think of was the Be Kind Rewind skits.
It's impossible.
Because I hadn't seen Ghostbusters since I was like 6. Like I didn't remember almost anything of it. It's been that long since I watched it, and all I could think of was just quoting "Be Kind, Rewind."
Same thing happened to me.
And the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper
Yeah.
finally makes sense.
Yeah.
I never got that.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
The same thing happened to me recently. I think it was in a restaurant or something, and that song from Rush Hour 2 came on. Jamal Lee, and he's up there dancing. I could not. I was like sitting at a bar eating my dinner, and I could
Michael
not.
Jackson. Which one is it?
Yeah,
I can't remember the fucking title of the song.
Joan.
That's how it goes. I was starting to sing Thriller in my head, and I was like, that's not it. But no, Ghostbusters was fun.
The new one?
No, the original one. No. I haven't seen the. I've never been huge in Ghostbusters.
Classic, but yeah, it feels dated, but it is definitely kooky fun.
It's fun. It's interesting to me watching it 30 years later, 40 years later. It's weird how big of a cultural impact it had.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows that fucking song. Everyone knows the outfit. Everyone knows that stupid retro car.
It was so different.
Yeah, just interesting. I mean, it's not, like, bad, but it's, like, on par with, like, Caddyshack, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, same people.
Same kind of vibe, yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, there's those cultural phenomenons that happened in the 80s. That happened in the 80s. Another one was like Gremlins.
Don't stop till you get enough. Thank you, Witch Hunter.
Stop till you get enough. No. Gremlins is another one.
I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I know about the vibe of Gremlins, but I haven't seen that probably since I was like 6.
I did the same thing. There's so many movies that I started with the second one.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura, I started with the second one and had to go back with the first one.
Second one's way better.
I'm not sure how it went
Terminator.
with Rush Hour. Terminator, I think also, yeah.
Rush Hour for me, no. I think we saw Rush Hour in theaters, actually.
What were we just talking about? Oh, Gremlins. I saw the second Gremlins first, and then I had to go back. So it's odd. And I think I saw episode 5 first over episode 4.
Yep, I did.
And I saw, no, that's a lie.
I saw Two Towers before.
Attack of the Clones.
No.
Oh, man.
That definitely didn't happen.
It's weird because we always make fun of, in a general sense, like, oh, of course they're going to make a sequel to this.
Yeah.
And then the sequel comes out and you're like, oh, wow, that was
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the exception.
Shrek 2.
but Shrek 2.
Wayne's World 2.
Wayne's World 2 sucks. It doesn't. Yeah, it kind of sucks. What?
I'm not going to complain.
Well,
I'm not going to
I wouldn't
criticize it anymore because you're right, but it's still great.
Yeah, I mean,
Austin Powers 2 is great.
It is.
Is it weird?
I always watch Austin Powers.
Is it weird
I
that
always come back to it?
all the Austin Powers are great?
Goldmember gets a little funky. He's got that whole dance scene in the prison, and then they do like the flashback to when they graduated. There's a couple moments, but yeah, it is really good.
It's odd that it works so well still, and it's like it feels played out in the first movie, and they keep going. And you're like, I'm still watching. Clearly, this is hilarious.
Groovy, baby.
She pulled a fucking lampshade out of his asshole. You see that?
She
Beyonce.
the fucking opening of Goldmember is one of the funniest things ever. When they're doing like the Austin Powers movie and Tom Cruise is it.
Oh my God, Danny
And then
DeVito.
Danny DeVito is Mini-Me. Hey, asshole. It's so funny.
I love Danny DeVito, and now he's in those
the best.
goddamn Jersey Mike's commercials, and he's selling subs.
For real?
Yeah, he's all over, man.
He's-
I was just
he's
wondering
the
about
best,
that. We were
dude.
talking about huge actors in dog shit commercials. It's like, how much? Dude, Danny DeVito never has to work again in his life. Why do a Jersey Mike's commercial?
Maybe he likes Philly steaks.
Samuel L. Jackson, Quicksilver One. Get
Yeah,
this
why
one
is he
correct.
always in Capital One shit? dude?
Why?
Maybe he's like
They're like, we'll give you $50 million to do 2 commercials.
his daughter
Yeah.
is dating the Capital One owner's son or something like that.
Marry her off. It's easier than that.
Dude, this is Game of Thrones style, like fucking dynasties in real life. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I would like to show about that. I guess that's kind of what Succession is all about. Yeah, I don't know why Danny DeVito is doing commercials for Jersey Mike's.
It's odd to me
I like Jersey Mike's.
how big actors and actresses they'll just like go down to that level. Like insurance, like yeah, I'll do insurance. Like I almost prefer the Flo, the progressive lady, because she's a nobody.
Yeah,
Or
Yep.
the what's the other guy?
Jake from State Farm.
Well, Jake's from State Farm, but there's the other guy that I can't remember. I'm gonna stop talking.
The Chaos
Yes,
guy?
yes.
Yeah, Chaos is cool. That's a cool commercial.
The chaos, yeah. So it's like I prefer that. It makes more sense in my head than for
A celebrity.
yeah.
Yeah, that's such an old school kitschy thing. Like I've never seen a commercial and be like, "Oh, I don't like pizza, but Shaq likes pizza. I'm gonna get pizza." Like,
Yeah.
no, dude. It's just that happens to be a larger pizza. Shaq is just like standing there. You know what I mean? I'll get the pizza because it's bigger,
Yeah.
not because Shaq recommended it.
Shaq endorsed my printer.
He's in a bunch of things too. He's Icy Hot, Papa John's, fucking Subway.
He's selling printers. He sells printer ink. I wasn't making a joke. He sells printer ink.
I love it, dude.
It's so
you
he's
got to
also
print out your brackets, man.
he's also been a huge businessman. He started investing his money.
I heard he's got a chicken place.
He's a certified cop or whatever the hell. Did you know that? He went through the training.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you buy a precinct?
I don't think that's how that works. I'm a cop now. I own the city.
It's like you get an honorary degree at a college or whatever. It's like
He's a-
honorary cop certification.
He has his doctorate.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that. He's got his doctorate though. So, Icy Hot.
Randomly catching up on the chat, but as you were talking about the snow boots like an hour ago, Daco said Disney should open Colorado Hoth ski resort. That's a fucking awesome idea, dude. That is you should contact Bob Iger
By-
or whoever's
by
in
Ski
charge
Hill.
now. Get the Illumineers on that. What the fuck they're called?
Yeah, out cold.
Imagineers.
Buy that out cold.
Yes, that was Alaska. Even better.
I thought that was Colorado.
No, it was Alaska.
Huh. Not that it matters. That's another odd one that I can never find on like DVD, Blu-ray, or
Yeah,
anything.
it's hard to find.
It's never streaming on anything. I can't find it, so I'm gonna have to bite the bullet. It never is
I bought it.
discounted either. I don't know why.
Yeah. Same. There was that and Be Kind Rewind. I could never find to stream, so I just bought them.
Those two and Dogma, which is
That's a whole thing.
now a nostalgic. Yeah, no one's ever seen Dogma for 30 years.
And I think Mallrats and Chasing Amy have the same problem. I think all three of his.
Why?
Clerks 3's out.
I bought it and haven't watched it yet. It was already discounted.
I was nervous.
It was like $15, and I was like, "Fuck it! For $15, I'll watch the fucking movie."
I mean, I'll watch it eventually.
I also enjoy. That's another one that I actually like the second one better. Like Clerks is, I was never into that culty. Like
I wasn't either.
It's fine. It's goofy, but I do prefer the comedy in the second one a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know. How do I say this without sounding like a dick? I've always appreciated Kevin Smith's work. I've never been a huge fan of it.
Yeah,
Jay and Silent Bob was fun for us when we were in like high school.
sure.
Lots of inside jokes and shit, but going back, it doesn't hold up that well.
Oh, absolutely not.
But Clerks 2, for some reason, there was some formula that he just hit with that one, where it is up there along with like the Superbads and those kind of comedies.
It's
for
better
me.
writing, man. He
really
had
good.
better characters, and he knew how to what's the Elias?
Yeah,
Hilarious character. Hilarious character. Great add-on.
yeah. it was
And the
funny.
fact, yeah, he did. You're right. He did a great job with that one. And you're
I
right.
don't know why that one in particular just kind of like stood out.
You're completely right. I'm on the same page as well with the rest of his shit. Like, it's all fine. I think I've watched all of his stuff once. I would rewatch Dogma if I could.
That's the one I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, me neither. But
I
outside of
remember
that,
liking.
Clerks 1, I've probably seen it maybe 2 or 3 times in my life.
I'll watch it once a decade.
Fine. Chasing Amy, I've watched that once, and I don't plan on watching it again.
It's like a rom-com. Yeah.
Whatever.
Mallrats is...
You tell him, Steve Dave.
Maybe my favorite of his because it's the first one that I saw, but it's not like gold throughout, you know? There's just a couple like jokes.
I'm not even sure I've seen it all the way through.
It's like on the level of like Out Cold for me. I think it's same homie.
Oh.
Sorry. Out Cold for me is a special place in my heart, but I just mean like the quality, like the style of movie.
Yeah.
Mallrats is more in that vein, if that makes sense.
Good.
But yeah, for some reason I like Mallrats too. I don't know. Just one of those things that hits you and just kind of sticks in your subconscious. And you're like, oh yeah, I love that, even though I've only seen it once and I was 11.
I kind of feel the same way about Rob Zombie. Like a lot of his stuff's good, but I always go back to House.
Yeah.
I even think Devil's Rejects is a better film, and I still prefer House because it's just
Goofy.
yeah, it's weird.
Well, that's probably how people feel about Clerks.
You're right. Yeah,
Same kind of deal.
I get it. Yeah.
But yeah, it just has a pull on you. You know, the time you saw it, whenever you see that stupid fucking sign, fried chicken and gasoline, I'm there.
I mean, yeah, I actually watched it recently and I loved it again. It had been a while and I forgot, you know, in my mind, it's always like the goofiness of it.
Right.
And then you watch it and you're like, God damn,
Yeah.
there's some shit.
Who's your daddy?
Oh my God. And when they're like cutting them up and fish boy, and you're like, that's funny, but what the fuck am I watching right now?
Yeah, dude. Gnarly. So kind of spin off of that, I, for the first time in my life, watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I've heard good things. I've never
The
seen it
original
either.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's original? 70s?
1974.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to put myself in that mindset while I was watching it. And the whole time I was just thinking like, man, movies used to be really bad.
Yeah.
Like, because I usually wear like headphones when I'm watching something at night. So I can hear the sound design and like the weird, like the really cheesy like footsteps and like, yeah, it was, I don't know, whatever. It's fine. But it was like an indie film, I think, even then for 1974. Yeah. Acting's weird. But I had never seen it before. It's like House of 1,000 Corpses is like almost exclusively based off of that.
Really?
Like these kids are on a road trip and then they go to this house and then they stumble like one family member at a time across this psycho family. And then they try to escape to like the gas station and the girl thinks she's safe. And then it turns out that homeboy at the gas station's actually part of the family too. And she brings her back. And I mean, whatever. He's probably paying, homage to it.
Yeah.
It's not like a note for note ripoff, but it is similar vibes.
Well, House, and there's such different feels between House and Devils.
Yeah.
Like House is about the family in the house, and then all of a sudden you get the Devil's Rejects, and it's like the family out in public.
Yeah.
And it's like it gives me
Right.
like the motel stuff.
Yeah,
is
having
like,
them interact with the normal human beings. Yeah.
It's almost too real. That's why it's so good. When the brother and sister hold baby and Otis.
Yeah.
When they hold that family hostage, there's no kids involved, but when they hold those people hostage in that hotel room, I'm like,
yeah. Whenever you feel uncomfortable, you know it's a good horror movie.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. That's the vibe. So,
all right.
Spooky season's over.
No, it's not.
It is. It's November 1st.
No, we've got till Thanksgiving, man. I opened it up. We got a couple more weeks, man. Pack it in.
Well, I'm watching V for Vendetta on Saturday.
There's
so
no
I
such
have
thing.
until Friday.
No such thing as a Thanksgiving movie. So we've
talked about this last year. I have a list though
of Thanksgiving movies.
Yeah, but we talked about they're not about Thanksgiving. It's just ones that I watch in this weird gap between Halloween and Christmas.
You know, I saw a TikTok today of someone who made a good point about a movie that they said this is definitely a Thanksgiving movie, and he made a good point. So it was Nightmare Before Christmas, because he's like, it literally links the two holidays that you're in between, and I was like, you're fucking genius. I've never thought about that.
Maybe I'll give it another try this year.
Yeah, I love the Tim Burton claymation, man. It's just even if you get nothing else out of that, the Tim Burton claymation stuff, it's really fun. I really enjoy it.
It is definitely impressive, that's for sure. So Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's on my Thanksgiving list.
Okay.
It's more of those like
I'm trying to place it. If I didn't put it in Thanksgiving, where else would I place it? I think you're right. I agree. Yeah.
Along a similar line, Wizard of Oz.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
That's a spring movie to me because it
Interesting,
goes from black and white to color, and you want to see the.
I get it.
I also, I guess, the fall colors, but it's more like bright and vibrant. It's very springy to me. Go ahead,
Got
though.
you. No, that's fair. I got you.
Yeah, I'm right. You're right.
I'm right. You're right. Star Wars Holiday Special. Definitely got to watch that.
I have tried to rewatch our commentary on it, and first of all, our commentary is fucking great. It's hilarious.
really funny.
Fuck you guys. It's fun.
Did I tell you I did a second commentary?
No.
I cheated on you.
Oh man.
Rob Cast had me and Matt on one of their shows to do commentary along with it.
Oh man.
And it was Matt's first time seeing it, and we were just like, you don't know what you're in for right now.
Yeah, get ready. Hold on.
It was gnarly.
It's a rough one to watch. I loved the fact that our version had the commercials built in.
The ladies workers union garment.
Yeah, what the fuck?
No, it's fun. But I do watch it, and I probably watch like the first 15 minutes. I'm actually paying attention, and then it just I get so sick of it.
As soon as
it's just on in the background at that point.
As soon as the circus table goes on, you're like, what? And then whip, spin, whip. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it was definitely gnarly. But Life Day is November 17th, so it's on the Christmas, or it's on the Thanksgiving list. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one because I'm not sure what else I would put into Thanksgiving. I'll have to put my list together.
It's also vibes for Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings.
Harry Potter. It's always the other ones I might throw in there that I'm surprised you didn't say is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because I always get Middle Earthy when you get into because it's like Skyrim and all this shit that you're like, we gotta bust out the battle axe for November.
Exactly, dude. And then of course V for Vendetta on Saturday. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Mean Girls. That's October.
Don't they have a Halloween party in that? I haven't seen that. Forever.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Man, I haven't seen that in forever.
We watch it every once in a while. It's such a solid movie.
Yeah.
That's one that I really enjoy.
Indeed.
But yeah, because she quotes something. One of the famous quotes from that is like October 5th. On October 5th, he asked me what day it was. It's October 5th.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
I might have the date wrong, but it is October
something like that. I know what you mean. All right. Well, House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Ended beautifully.
I'm glad it did.
Glad it ended?
Beautifully. If I'm gonna give like a rating, Andor's it's near perfect. I want to give like Andor like a 9.8. Like it's almost damn near perfect.
Well, it hasn't ended yet. So.
You're right, but still, what we've seen so far, I'm like, fuck, this is it. Even with the Squid Game shit, I'm like, you know what? Everything else has been so fucking spot on.
9.5.
And I'm sure we'll get somewhere because of these Squid Games, so it's fine. House of the Dragon, I want to give maybe a mid 8.
I can see that.
It wasn't quite up to the par of, which is weird because I rewatched Game of Thrones and the first season felt kind of wonky when I tried to rewatch.
It was definitely as budget as Game of Thrones would ever get.
Yes, and I think
still pretty high.
I think production wise this is probably better, but I think it played out. I liked the more characters.
My only comment on the production is that now that they've done a full 8 seasons of Thrones and they're starting over, it feels like sometimes because they have the means, they're kind of going a little more extravagant than they normally would. Like, I almost love season 2 of Game of Thrones because it hasn't got to that point.
Still earthy, still.
Yeah, because there's a couple things, like when they go to the Baratheon place, Storm's End, it just felt extreme. Because it was like I don't know. I usually don't complain about CGI, but it's like perched on this weird island, and it's got all these like pillars and spikes. It just felt very grandiose. Where there was something nice about the early Game of Thrones, where it's like Winterfell is like kind of a dingy castle because it's in the north.
I guess the other thing that might
That's like my only complaint.
The other thing that might play into it is the riding fucking dragons again, this early.
See, that I'm cool with.
So, but I feel like it takes an element of CGI that's just simply necessary to you had a fucking helicopter pad on this castle that the kid went to, and you're like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to.
And it's not even like a true complaint.
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know how in Lord of the Rings, the Shire is like hella quaint?
Yeah.
And then you finally get up to like the super, super grand stuff at the end?
Yeah.
I guess I feel like this is 200 years before Game of Thrones, so maybe some stuff should look even a little dingier than it did in Game of Thrones. That's my only thing. And then the other criticism I have is, again, it's not even really a criticism. I don't know if I love the time jumps. And I'm accepting it because I know now we're getting into the meat with season 2.
Yeah.
And like season 2 and however long the show ends up being is the bulk of it. And we just had to, this was like all of a big prologue to get there. You know what I mean? But I loved the slow burn and the slow growing up of characters.
You just said you didn't like the slow burn.
Of Game of Thrones.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
didn't say like a slow burn. I said
Time jumps.
that's the opposite of a slow burn, dude.
Burn.
Quick freeze.
Quick. I don't have like complaints. I have small criticism, critiques that like.
Yes, these are my thoughts.
Yeah, and I don't even think they're worth sharing. That I feel like they're so small. They're sprinkled throughout, and I do feel like some episodes are better than the others, and
yeah, definitely.
You know, as some points I did feel like they were forcing issues in. But finally when what's-his-face Strong comes in, I felt like, oh, okay. Now we've got, you know, something to stand on. Like a bad guy to stand on. Because otherwise it was just family bickering.
Right.
And
like
even
Succession.
Yeah. It was Succession to a lesser degree. It's weird how I feel like that. We've gotten, though, of course, to the finale. She turns her fucking head and she becomes Satan, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
we finally got there. But we had to watch an entire season to get there, and you're like, all right, was this a prequel season? Because clearly that's what it was, but. I feel like a lot of times Game of Thrones is just like, we're here, start, and people are getting cut in half, and like immediately. Yeah,
it did some of that, but it definitely
it treaded through some mud there for a little bit.
It did,
and I was like, yeah, like the whole idea of Daemon being married before, and he went out of his way to kill her, and then that didn't matter, and you're like, well.
I mean, he had to do it to free up his ring finger, but
did he have to be married before?
Well, it's in the book.
My point is, like, I had to watch him do that, and it was like, okay, it's a fun scene, but you added.
It was not a fun scene.
Well, I mean, more of like building Damon's character.
Yeah, I think it was important for that.
But at the same time, you literally brought in an actress to kill her off in 5 minutes, and it was like. I felt like that's something you could leave out, and it didn't add anything to his. It really didn't add anything to his character because he got married again and she fucking died. So it's like,
well, he's willing to kill his own wife.
He's willing to just marry anybody. Yes,
that's true too.
That's what I'm getting at.
That's also true. So Succession for a second. Talk about the ultimate slow burn. Kendall turns on Logan in like episode 5.
Yeah.
And this whole like struggle over am I going to lose the company or not lasts all the way through season 2 and doesn't get resolved until halfway through season 3.
Yeah.
Like in another show that would happen for an episode and then they would come up with a solution and then the season finale would be like, oh, we solved the problem. But that just sticks around so long just to give them all something to bicker about.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like the ultimate slow burn.
We've clearly gotten. Yeah, the slow burn in House of the Dragon was the death of the king. We knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, that's fair. And then we have a double finale.
Oh my God! Whoever.
What?
First of all, costume. Design.
Amazing.
It's the best I've ever seen.
That's where I will say the extravagance actually worked for me.
Bar none.
Perfect.
I've never seen anything like that. I felt like it was putting crazy stuff to shame. I was watching, I was like, everything looks fucking perfect. And then when the king was on his deathbed, I've never seen acting like that.
Yeah.
And I just praise Forrest Whitaker, but the king dying, and he's like, you're like, dude, really he's a Draugr. He's a fucking Draugr right now. What is happening?
Yes, dude.
This is crazy. He looked so insane.
Haunting and perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was a great performance. Him all throughout.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was going somewhere with that.
That it was awesome and you loved it.
Yeah.
You started by saying the slow burn was the King 9.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, like, even the costuming, it was putting stuff that's crazy good to shame.
Yeah.
And not to shame, but like Lord of the Rings. It's so solid throughout. Mm-hmm. And you look at House of the Dragon, you're like, yeah, but look at that.
Right.
Look at that
you see
shit.
what extra 20 years gets you?
Dude, yeah, and it's like Skyrim on steroids. Like, you can just wear whatever the fuck you want. And you look badass, and it's of the time, and I love it. I feel like the issue with the slow burn with this, as compared to other seasons of Game of Thrones, is all of the side pieces. Even in Succession, like you're right. Kendall against his dad. But all of the stringing along stuff in between, the stress between Shiv and Tom, between siblings themselves, and then you throw like girlfriends in there, and you're like, all that stuff is what carries it. I don't feel like we had a ton of that. They tried to build a little bit of it with the kids, and I just wasn't on board until shit really hit the fan with the kids.
Right.
Like
When they got to the older actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the young kids, I gave no shits. I didn't care what the fuck was happening. It was weird to me.
I feel like they did really well, but it was hard to... They don't carry on screen, if that makes sense. Because I don't mean they were bad. Like, I thought they fit, and I was totally cool with it. But there's something about, like, when you see Vaemond, like, he carries himself, and, like, you...
Is Vaemond the pointy...
with the fucking...
Dude, he's doing duck face.
Eye patch dude. But... You see him and like you can't not see him, and now he's like crystal clear as a character in the show. But when it's kid actors, it's like they don't.
I love him. I love that character.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right. Well, the issue is they introduce the kids and they're supposed to be interacting with each other right away, and you're like, well, I don't even know
which one. I don't know which one's which.
I don't know which one's which. I don't know which one's supposed to be what.
And then there's a new infant, and then she's giving birth again.
And I was less like, not even that, not even only that, but we had the actress changes too, and you're like, I'm still trying to get over that. Fuck our kids right now. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm still trying to get over that small hump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it was just more timing and layout and pacing. It's small stuff, because it was still 8.5 out of 10 for me. It was
great.
Fucking great.
Still great. Yeah. There was only like one slow episode I felt, and the funeral I think was like the slow one for me.
Man, do they really do try to like make you cringe. That's stillborn, and you're like,
yep.
God damn.
That was rough, man.
Private dating chat, girl. Hey, click on that. Let's see what happens.
What episode of Andor did you like the best?
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, I don't care.
That's fine. I don't really have any other major complaints, and like I said, I don't really have any major complaints. Period. It's all small, minor stuff. My favorite character so far, Daemon. I've really come around to, because he's the Luthen. He's the one that just like, no, we're getting shit done today.
He's wild, dude.
He's wild, but
he's like the most Targaryen I've ever seen.
Between him and the Eye Slice kid.
Eye Slice.
Orange Slice. I know, you're right. They have just like a unpredictability, borderline crazy, but also they get shit done.
And conniving.
Yeah. I feel like the two girls, that maybe that's part of it. Like, they were supposed to be the two people carrying the thing, and I kept leaning back to like Daemon, and then the king.
Obviously.
Yeah, and then even Hightower. Man, I loved his character.
Yeah. I didn't like him at first. He grew on me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
In a bad way, because I'm Team Black, but whatever.
But finally, Rhaenyra, we see her the very last second, and I'm like, that's it.
There she is.
There she fucking is.
It took all that to get to that.
And maybe clearly that's the point, but I was waiting for that the whole season, and I really didn't expect it to happen the last second of the whole season. I was really hoping it happened like episode 8 out of 10, so we could kind of build something up. We're obviously on the brink of war, and with the Pokemon battle that happened in the sky.
Yeah, dude. Dragonite versus Charizard.
Yeah, and it was not close. Dragonite got his ass whooped.
But
Whoa.
sorry, I'm plosiving all over the place. But +1 to deep character development because he didn't mean to kill him. He's
Which
like,
no one's
I
gonna believe
fucking
that.
hate you, and I'm gonna take your eye. But at the end of the day, you're my cousin / brother / uncle, and I'm not gonna kill you on purpose. And I thought that, like, to see his shock after his dragon ate him, I was like, oh god.
See, I more thought, sure, they lost control of their Pokemon, but I felt more like what's the blonde-haired kid? The
Eye patch guy.
Eye patch
Orange
guy.
slice. Vayman.
Vayman. I feel like Vayman, sure, he may not have meant to fully kill, but I think he was regretting more of like what just transpired, where this is going to force us all into war,
Right.
rather than I didn't mean to do that. Oops. He more was like, fuck.
I kind of felt like both.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, you're right, but
Like now mom's gonna blame me for starting the war, and also I didn't mean to kill you,
But also, I was chasing you through a fucking thunderstorm,
and now I can't even get my eye back. What the fuck?
I was just trying to kill you. I didn't mean to kill you.
Right. I wanted to kill you, but then Vagar killed you.
Yeah. See, exactly. So
Probably got
blame-
a lot of experience for that though.
blame the dragon. He didn't have his fire badge.
Yes. Not fire badge isn't what you're looking for.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like fucking.
Pokemon.
What's the last one?
Fi-
Is it Fire Badge? The Cinnabar Island one? Is it Fire Badge? Makes up all Pokemon of all levels obey.
Yeah. Well, it might be the final.
Volcano Badge. There we go.
No.
Yeah, Volcano Badge.
No.
The one that you get on Cinnabar. Yeah. Volcano
Boulder
Badge.
badge. Leaf badge.
Yes. But I'm in the Marsh Badge.
Ghost
and
Badge.
Whatever. Ghost Badge. Ghostbusters.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I love where we got to. That's what I'll say. I'll say between the actress change and where we got to, it was a little bumpy. But I still really enjoyed it. And I'm super excited to see where it goes.
100%, man. I'm glad something Thrones-like is back. We never
It's-
really got like a true, full, awesome video game from Game of Thrones, which I always think is a bummer, but I'm glad it's back. And now that it's launched, Homeboy is once again writing book 6.
I saw a little
Very
snippet
excited
that
about
he
that.
is 75% of the way through the book.
That's awesome.
And he said it's going to be the biggest one yet.
It is. And he could be lying and have 6 and 7 coming out at the same time like Stephen King did for The Dark Tower, but probably not.
He ain't that smart.
I'm so glad. I cannot wait for book 6. I'm going to have to reread those again.
I never read him. Never read him.
They're heavy, but it's worth it.
Yeah. I can't even get through fucking 350 page of Rogue One.
Talk about slow burn. It'll take you like a year to read all of those.
It'd take me 10 years. I'll read one
book
a
per
year.
year.
I'll
Yeah.
read one book a year, and then I'll skip a year, and I have to be like, oh, fuck, I got to reread that one because I don't remember.
I think I only accomplished my mission because it was COVID. Read all 6.
So we got to start a
Or
pandemic,
all
another pandemic.
5. I think so. Call Fauci. Tell him
got-
when's a winner's coming out.
Wieners.
Wiener is coming out.
Wieners coming out.
Wiener book 6.
Oh, God. All right. Yeah.
So now I need to divert. Now I need to go back to Lord of the Rings because I didn't really start that because House of the Dragon took my mind.
Yeah.
I need to watch that, and then Black Panther comes out next week.
Is it not out already? Black Adam.
next Friday.
Black Adam came out.
Black Panther, and then trailer for Ant-Man came out February, I think.
This is the wrong time for me to get back into Marvel, though.
Why?
That's another spring thing for me. DC's got to be the end of the year.
Think so?
Dying trees, death, darkness.
You want to rewatch Snyder Cut?
The sun goes down at like 3:30 p.m.
Yeah, it does. Definitely does.
Yeah, so I got to watch. I really wanted to rewatch The Joker recently.
I was feeling that vibe too. It came out in October, maybe that's why.
Yeah, timing, and I still have to rewatch The Batman. Man,
That's on my
it's
list
been
too.
well, and the Snyder Cut. Jesus, there's so much Batman content.
There is. Speaking of Batman content, that new game came out.
Gotham Knights.
I heard it's very bad.
I assume it's bad.
Yeah.
I've been gotten. I signed up for like a newsletter, and they send me like 2 things a day. Like, hey, did you forget about it?
What newsletter?
for Gotham Knights, like just any updates and stuff. So I was like, fucking, it's a Batman thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like 2 or 3 things a day, and it's like, it's launched.
Right.
You're like,
buy a fucking game, please.
Unsubscribe,
We need
please.
the money.
Fuck off, please. Fuck off, please.
Yeah, it just seems like
Trying real hard, man.
Arkham. It just seems like Arkham again with characters that aren't Batman, and it's really buggy, and it's got problems.
Well, and the other people, the guys that were bitching about Modern Warfare 2. They said the gameplay's great, but pretty much everything else around it's like really bad, really wonky. Matchmaking, building your character, customizing stuff, progression, leveling up. They said it's way out there.
Every game is like that right now.
Except
No, I won't say.
Elden Ring.
Oh yeah, except Elden Ring.
I'm still in Elden Ring.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have that'll maybe be like a Christmas break. I'll get back into that and like starting a character and beat it again.
Plowing through it. I went back and kind of like started going into different stuff that I went into and originally was like, oh, this is way beyond me. So I went back and I'm just annihilating people. And then I got to the big top right area where you go into the big compound with. There's 2 tree sentinels out front.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You go in there. So I'm poking around in there, and I'm getting to the point where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm maxed out for this area. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm not maxed out for this area yet.
Yeah,
things are fucking me up a little bit.
Do some farming. Yeah, anything fantasy always gets like autumn and winter vibes. So I do want to pick it back up. I just haven't had time to play. But what I was gonna say, Overwatch is getting shit on, even though I love it. It's getting horrible.
I played a couple rounds with the guys. I thought it was fine. I didn't have any issues.
No, I love it. It's just getting shit on because of all the monetization stuff. They did the same thing like Halo did. It's like it's free, but a skin's like $20.
What did you expect for a free game?
I mean,
they got to make money somewhere.
I'm not mad about it.
I don't care what and maybe it was my own issue. I downloaded the game and all my skins are gone. And it's like, I thought that stuff was supposed to port over. I played a few rounds.
It was supposed to port over.
I played a few rounds as Lucio and I didn't have any skins. I opened up the skin menu and said, nope.
Maybe it just, I had heard some people like it wasn't syncing properly.
Yeah,
at the beginning,
maybe or maybe like I downloaded it and as soon as it downloaded, I jumped right into a game and it was like, whoa, we haven't even synced anything yet. Or something, something weird. Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. I hope to have some more time to.
I went into
it later.
The underground in Elden Ring, the underground city, the dark.
Which one?
Underness. KOTOR.
Which one? Go on, you two, get out of here.
I don't know, the one under Caelid.
Sophria Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that one's connected to the one that you go into under Caelid.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Yeah.
There's a couple entrances because there's that one where like the meteorite looking rocks where you float into. That's connected to the well piece.
Yep.
Which was weird because I thought I went there and I was like, okay, this is brand new. And then I started walking back through and I was like, oh, I've already been here. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was kind of confused. To be honest.
You said you beat Radon, right?
Who's that?
The big fucking guy on the horse.
There's a lot of guys on horses.
The giant guy on the tiny horse that throws a comment at you.
Where you start out, it's out in like the sand dunes.
Yeah.
And he just starts shooting at you, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
That was an amazing boss fight.
Yeah, I only fought him 3 times. I thought he was gonna fuck me up like 10 times. I jumped on my horse and just started spawning all those guys, and I waited another 30 seconds so they ran up, and then I started.
Yeah.
I read a walkthrough stuff, and there's like part of it is luck. He needs to be focusing on those other guys because as soon as he focuses on you, you're fucked.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I got lucky. Speaking of luck, and Tommy Boy was helping me out for the first time. I beat him on my first try.
Oh, nice.
One of the only bosses that I actually did that with, but such a fucking sweet boss fight, dude.
Yeah, there's some wicked stuff in that game, man. Not quite to the Blasphemous level. Mm-hmm. I was talking about Blasphemous to DNR.
Well, you'll get there.
And
there's an area you haven't gone to yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I had the one. Reminder. One of the boss fights in Blasphemous was a baby who was stabbed through the face with a crucifix, and every time you sliced it, it cried. So I want you to remind yourself. But it is. Yeah, they're borderline on the same level.
I think the whole sewer area in this one is entirely optional, so you might have to look for a secret entrance to get to it. But there's a whole sewer underneath the capital city, which is just Those are my favorite parts of those games because they're just creepy.
I
It's
think
like I'm
that's-
in walking around Resident Evil.
I think that's right where I'm at because I'm walking around the backside of the Capitol right now on the outside grounds,
Yeah.
and I just walked into this like underground piece.
Yeah.
So maybe
Well,
that's where I'm at.
That's creepy. And then there is a city later on, which I think is also optional, which is where all of the Scarlet Rot originated from.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of shit that's fucked up there too. So
That Scarlet Rot and then the Black Death Bar.
what? It's called something different. It used to be called Cursed.
Yeah, I forget what it is now, but
Death Blight.
Death Blight.
Yeah.
As soon as it gets full, you grow into a fucking root, you die, and you're like, God damn it!
I know, man.
It's a tough game, man. It's obviously frustrating. Everybody knows that, but my God, does it remind you every fucking time you turn it on? You're like,
Yeah. You don't get to. There's no casual on that one.
No, it is heavy. It's heavy. Like I'll poke around, and you're like, a fucking squid
you're
will
not.
kill you, and you're like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? I didn't even know he was there.
Just got swiped off a cliff.
I probably 30% of the time that I die, I accidentally
fault.
jumped
You
on
jump
the
off?
horse or something, or I jumped off the horse, and you're like,
Yeah,
I didn't know there was a fucking cliff. It also teases you. It's like walk along this thing and then jump over here. Mm-hmm. You're like,
And then you see the phantom message of someone else that died off the cliff, and you're like, I wonder what's over there. Oh shit. That happens a lot too.
I wish other games incorporated the messaging stuff. I love that aspect of those games.
Yeah, the PvP in there is just awesome.
I love the trolling too. First off, rump. You're like,
Exactly.
if I was a child, you know how many stupid things we would come up with? Second off, rump.
Rump. What was the? What's the one? Try. Oh God, I'm blanking.
Try jumping.
Try finger butthole.
Try finger butthole. Why is butthole in the game?
But.
Oh, hole.
B-U-T.
Hole, yeah.
Try finger butthole. Yeah. Savage.
Hilarious, guys. All right.
Well,
That was a long one, but we had a lot to catch up on. A lot of heavy stuff. Finales. Andor's rocking. Squid Games is back up into it.
Squid Games. Yeah, I'm probably never gonna watch it now because then I'll feel
Great.
different about
It's
it. So.
fucking great.
Well, I got a lot of other things. I want to watch Andor first. So, thanks for catching up with us. We love you. I love some of you. Nelson, Weiss, you're on my shit list. I don't know why. All right, guys. Bye.
The list of shit.